Oh, Team B.A.D, where art thou? The Guido goes off. Starts now. Hello, welcome to The Guido Goes Off. My previous episode has been shot to hell, so I might be a little bit envious. But thankfully, the internet and Twitter were wonderful enough to give me some new material to talk about. So, given the events of the October 26th episode of Raw, did a lot of people talk about what happened? Yes, they talked about Paige's full heel turn by beating up Charlotte and Becky. They talked about Roman Reigns becoming the number one contender, issues that I will address at a later time. This episode, I'm going to be talking about the three women conspicuous by their absence: Sasha Banks, Naomi, and Tamina, collectively known as Team B.A.D. It stands for beautiful and dangerous, but I've made jokes about it. Never mind. Okay, a lot of people are wondering why these women have been left off television a lot as of late. And don't get me wrong, Team B.A.D really hasn't been a factor since SummerSlam. Heck, they've barely been a factor in this whole Divas Revolution to begin with. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say it's because there's a lack of talent there. I think there's untapped stuff. But things could clearly be better for this team. Now, I've been trying to get my thoughts together, how I want to address this. So I was going to address it from the top down. I think I'm going to start from the bottom and work my way up. By the members, one by one. Tamina. Third generation superstar. No, second generation superstar. Very well versed in wrestling. Clearly knows what she's doing as far as her in-ring work. Not to mention, in her role as the muscle, basically, of the group. A role she's played for several years. In her role working as AJ's suit, kind of, sort of bodyguard. Then, when Naomi brought her into the foray after her return from injury. But now, once again, she's found herself in that strong, silent role. I want to see more personality added to Tamina. I mean, these are supposed to be strong, confident, independent women. I hope. So, why can't Tamina talk? Why can't Tamina, show some passion? I mean, I saw an episode of Total Divas where she gave an impassioned speech to Natalya about not letting her age define who she is. Where, she pretty much got into it with a fan who tried to attack her for some ungodly reason. That's what I want to see. I want to see something that I can get behind, something I can root for. And maybe I'm looking too deep into an archetype. I mean, don't get me wrong, Tamina fits that bill. So, moving on to Naomi. I want to like Naomi. I am not her biggest fan. A lot of you know this. But it's not because of who she is. It's just simply wrestling based, and I will explain why. She is a phenomenal athlete. I cannot take that away. She's, her previous jobs were as a backup dancer for Flo Rida, a member of the Orlando Magic's dance team. You do not have those jobs sitting on their couch eating bonbons and watching Days of Our Lives. She has every physical gift you could possibly want. The problem is translating them into professional wrestling. Now, as much as we want to believe that there's, they go step by step in how they plan a match, they don't. Usually they just talk about, okay, we're going to do this spot, we're going to do this spot, this is going to be a finish, done. Honestly, I think if there was some investment made in the Divas division, which clearly there hasn't been. I mean, if there had been more of an investment in the Divas division, we wouldn't have needed this Divas revolution. And even still, we really don't have that investment. But take the time with Naomi, and if you laid out the match step by step by step, kind of choreograph it like a dance routine, I think Naomi would be infinitely better than she is right now. And above all else, as far as her wrestling goes, get her another finisher! My number one complaint about Naomi is that her finisher is jumping up the air, doing the splits, and praying her opponent runs into her ass! I am not a fan of a move that can be countered by stopping. I mean, do come some sort of a DDT, or maybe even like a top rope, maneuver, like a cross body block, or a leg drop, or a scissor kick, anything that can show off her physical ability. Not a flying ass bomb. She's so much better than that. I wouldn't believe she can be so much better than that. Simply, do a different finisher. And then the fact this is the heel group of the deep. Prior to the events of this last Raw, Team B.A.D is the static heels. They are the heels no matter who they face. I believe I've addressed this so often. But honestly, I think Naomi is a nice lady. Honestly, I don't think she has a mean bone in her body. It'd be nice if she could embrace her inner bitch, but I honestly don't think she has an inner bitch. Because her being a heel in her promos, it feels forced. It feels uncomfortable for her, unnatural. And that's something that I think a lot of people can't get behind that character. Because it doesn't feel like she can fully embrace it and fully portray it. And if she's, when she's not feeling that, she kind of fades into the background. I mean, her role has always been in her career, it always seemed to be as part of a group. Whether it be the Funkadactyls, valeting for her husband and brother-in-law, or this Team B.A.D thing. I don't know if Naomi can ever truly shine on her own. It's good. I mean, it took. I mean, you got her some of those Venetian shades and light up shoes. And outfits made out of outfits made out of bandanas, but you're not addressing the main issue. There's no development. There hasn't been any character development with Naomi, and I think this is in large part due to the lack of investment in the Divas division. I don't think she's at fault. And I don't want to say she's boring, but bear in mind, she's been pulled from Total Divas twice now. Let's move on to the one who's supposed to help this team out. Spitting on a computer, good lord. Sasha Banks. Brought up from developmental as part of Team B.A.D. Now, there were some plans to change, but then this happened where Sasha is part of the group, and to be honest, she's just kind of taken over because she's got everything. She is a great in-ring worker. She is great at putting people over. She can work with anyone. She actually made Charlotte look palatable. Somehow made Charlotte look good. And I think that's a very tall order. She's great. Her promos are great. They're flowing. The delivery is on point. She stresses the right parts in that. And she is a natural heel. You remember what I said about embracing that inner bitch? Oh, Sasha's done that. She's pretty much so in touch with her inner bitch there might be a lawsuit pending. But it makes her a great heel character. I mean, yes, everybody seems to want to root for her, but that is an appreciation of the job she does. Now you're saying, Guido, okay, you've had pros and cons about Tamina and Naomi. What is the con about Sasha? There. The only con Sasha has is Kevin Dunn's personal vendetta with NXT. I don't know why. The WWE has invested millions of dollars in building this performance center, turning it into the best professional wrestling training money can buy, and yet you're going to put crap on all the wrestlers that come out of there. I mean, think about this for just a second. You turned Bo Dallas from a disingenuous Tony Robbins to a laughingstock. You turned one of the most badass tag teams in the Ascension into a laughingstock. Don't get me started on what you did with Adam Rose. You screwed up Tyler Breeze's intro and put him in a VIP section I think you could get for $30 at Costco. You put a cape on Neville. You made Emma a laughingstock and a second fiddle to someone undeserving, and she got sent back to NXT to become a second fiddle to someone undeserving. You sit here and tell me that the powers that be don't have a vendetta against NXT talent. And I think Sasha is no exception. I mean, we could put it to, they wanted to finish the feud with Bayley over the NXT Women's Championship before fully bumping her up. Okay, that is all done now. We can move on. Because I thought that they were going to have a Charlotte-Sasha feud. Don't get me wrong. Both these ladies need to get some development on the main roster. Sasha hasn't really gained a lot of traction, but then again, most of the other women on coming up from NXT haven't. The only thing we know that people know about Charlotte is she's Ric Flair's daughter, and nothing else. Right now, I believe Charlotte is Divas Champion for the same reason that Nikki was Divas Champion, to bring her credibility as a wrestler. Something Sasha doesn't need, because she already is highly credible. Now, like I said, you've got a game day player. You've got someone, and you've got two other women who could, if given the right opportunities, the right help, and the right motivation, could be game day players. But it's hard to prove you're a game day player if you can't get the ball. As much as I'm probably not as big a fan of the ladies in Team B.A.D as a lot of people out there, a lot of you folks watching. But it infuriates me that you're not that. The almost non-use of Team B.A.D is once again a small piece of the bigger picture that there's a lack of creativity and utilization of talent. And like I said, you have one. You have. I think with the I think with the right set of circumstances, I think that Tamina and definitely Naomi can become a bigger part of the Divas division. Now, don't get me wrong, the Divas Championship is not a carousel, and not everybody gets a ride. But at least get them the opportunity to showcase what they can possibly do. I'm the Guido. You have been warned.